But you were telling me you feel like this Super Bowl is going to be epic.
I do. And I don't know whether I'm alone in that. I don't think this every year. Like, to me, every other Super Bowl is like, meh, MEH. This one, to me, you have, it's a historic quarterback matchup. First two black quarterbacks starting in the Super Bowl. Youngest combined age of two starting quarterbacks. You know, these guys are on the vanguard of the new NFL. You have the first coach Andy Reid fired was Nick Sirianni, who's now his adversary in the Super Bowl. That was when he first became the Kansas City coach, and Sirianni did not make the cut to stay. And then, the defenses are interesting. They're not great, but the coaching matchup is terrific because Sirianni's great. And there's no I'm happy that there's no Cinderella.
There's no fluke here. I think
fluke.
Before the season, if you ask most people who's gonna make the Super Bowl, they would have told you Philadelphia, Kansas City. I think that would be the majority pick because a lot of people felt like Philly was very talented.
Yeah, they're the number one seeds and deserve to be. And not to mention the Kelsey brothers, the first brothers to play in the Super Bowl. That's pretty cool.
Well, Mike is shaking me off real quick, saying no. The Chiefs, no, Mike. Or is it the?
You're saying that people expected Philadelphia to be here. They were one and done bounced by Tampa Bay last year. You had the Los Angeles Rams in that conference win.
I'm just saying a lot of people said Philadelphia, if Jalen Hurts can take the next step, and he did. Their team's talented enough,
they got
like
a lot
San
of
Francisco.
Preseason buzz. They got a lot of preseason buzz.
Well, they're the best defense.
Well, they got
league.
A.J. Brown. They made some moves, Mike. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
Great running game.
Kansas City, no one's surprised, though, right?
I will say, in terms of preseason odds, I'm looking at an article from ahead of the season on September 2nd, and they were 25-1 to win the Super Bowl, and those were the 13th best odds in the league. So this is still... like the season that they've embarked on is a surprise. As the season has played out, it is not a surprise any longer that they are a Super Bowl contender.
Right.
But at the beginning of the season, this was not expected.
Right. But I think when you look at this matchup, you're pretty safe that these are the two best teams in the league. Right. I mean, I don't go Buffalo. I don't go Cincinnati. I don't go Dallas. I mean, the two teams that deserve to be here are here, and you can't always say that in a Super Bowl, for me, anyway.
Right. The Eagles, start to finish, have been the best team in the NFL.
Right.
They have been.
They were what? Weren't they 10-0?
They were at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was only they lost 3 games at the end of the season when they weren't even really trying that hard. They had already clinched the 1 seed.
Right.
Life is like every time that they've had to play a meaningful game, they've not only won, but mostly have won dominantly.
Yeah, and 2 of their losses were when Hurts was out with his shoulder injury.
Me and Stugotz were talking about this yesterday. Can Philly go the entire season without playing a meaningful game and win the Super Bowl?
I said this weeks ago on the show. My concern for Philadelphia is that they will go weeks without playing a meaningful game, and that still holds true.
Well, wait, what do you
What
mean
about
by
last
meaningful
week?
game?
What
They
about last
played in the
week?
NFC Championship last year.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
I guess maybe not
Josh Johnson.
Maybe
Johnson
not
got pretty
meaningful,
hurt.
but significant.
Michael, they played Daniel Jones and Josh Johnson to get to a Super Bowl. I mean,
I
they
think
blew
you need to
both
pick a
teams
different
out.
word other than meaningful. It's a
Okay.
divisional round in the NFC
Right.
Championship.
A competitive game?
Impressive.
There you go.
Impressive.
It's significant.
No,
That
they
was
played in the
significant.
A
NFC
good opponents?
Championship. No, like a
That's
top
what you're saying. You're saying
competitive
impressive,
game.
a victory that you're impressed with.
Right. They
I mean
haven't-
competitive.
They wrapped up the division early. Dallas had a chance throughout, but pretty much they had wrapped that thing up. Jalen Hurts took a couple of weeks off. They played 2 games. I'm not saying they weren't big games. They weren't. Mike is right. Those were big games. They're playoff games, but they weren't competitive games. And we know Kansas City's going to be competitive. So they haven't really been in a close game, it seems like, that with stakes attached to it in quite some time.
Yeah, but they were competitive games going into the game. Philadelphia, unless I'm wrong, Philadelphia was only favored over Dallas by 2.5 points at home, which isn't barely if the home field advantage number. I mean,
no, it's totally fair, but it's been an easy road for the Eagles. I mean, when you have to face those 2 quarterbacks at home,
Easy because they make it easy.
Right.
Like,
well, easy because yes,
They earned that right to have the easiest path.
No, I understand that, but easy because it's also Daniel Jones and Josh Johnson. Like they got a break with Brock Purdy, right?
Funny sentence.
I think I know. They got a break that Purdy went down.
I mean, if you look at like the margin of victory on their big wins this season, they beat Minnesota by 17. They beat Dallas by 2 scores. They beat Pittsburgh by 2 scores. They beat Tennessee by 25. They beat the Giants by 26. And then again in the playoffs by 31. They just hammered San Francisco, who I thought like the quarterback didn't even matter. Like they have put together some massively significant victories this season where you go, this is a dominant team.
Yeah. It was a stupid comment, but I said it nonetheless. I mean, it was. I happen to think Philadelphia is going to win the game. I do. And I'm not certain.
A lot of people do, yeah.
I'm not certain what we're doing with Jalen Hurts, where if he beats Patrick Mahomes in a Super Bowl, we're not elevating him to, the way we would Joe
You're
Burrow.
the person that wasn't.
I know.